Was not creatively fulfilled. I was exhausted. I think that people think that different kinds of art are fundamentally different.
Things are like the main two things that kind of were placed in my life at weird times that kind of put me in this path.
Not be jealous of that or insecure about that, but just see it as a strength in our relationship.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect podcast, where we interview interesting people with a story to tell
and share what breadcrumbs they've picked up along the way. I'm Dani.
And I'm Brittany.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect.
Welcome to the Breadcrumb Effect. Today, we're joined by Magda and Lindsay, the host of the Literally Books podcast, the podcast where they read literally anything because it shouldn't be a saga to find your next favorite read. Lindsay lives in Austin with her husband and 2 dogs. She has a background in film production and English literature and works in tech. Her curiosity spans all kinds of storytelling, which shapes how she approaches books and conversations on the show. Magda was born in Colombia, raised in Texas, and now lives in Austin with her husband. Her love of reading took off with Pride and Prejudice, sparking a longtime appreciation for romance and character-driven stories. They met through their tech jobs and bonded over a shared love of books, turning that passion into a fun, approachable podcast for fellow readers everywhere.
Thank you for joining. We are so excited that y'all are our first guests, for one, so that you can teach us the ways. 2, we feel very comfortable with y'all. And we are just so honored because y'all have been also a very early part of our journey. The things that we definitely want to get to is how y'all met. How did the podcast come to be? We want to hear about y'all's breadcrumbs together, but maybe even individual breadcrumbs that y'all have had in your life as individuals. And then we also want to share the breadcrumbs that we have with y'all, which actually brought you on to this podcast today.
Yeah, that y'all might not even know how important y'all are.
Oh my God.
Yay. I've been squirm so much over here. We were literally just talking about this in the car. I'm like,
Oh, I don't like to talk about it.
And then we're going to hug you.
yeah, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. It'll be fine.
I love being invited to a place where I'm just going to get praised.
Yeah.
I love this.
This
Princess Magda.
That's just our dynamic. So I'm like, I'm cool. Yep.
And then I would definitely end it with, what are the great things that y'all have done that this podcast has given y'all the opportunity to do? Because I know that y'all have had some really great events and things this past year. How long have y'all been on?
A year and a half now.
Year and a half.
Wow. Time flies.
How many episodes now?
84 episodes now. It's
That's
crazy.
Guys, that's a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you. It feels like just as many as it is. So, did not fly by.
It did not.
It did
I feel like
not.
it's gone by so quick.
No,
It's
I'm
the
just
princess
kidding.
thinks
Yeah.
it's by.
It's close.
No,
But
she
Lindsay does the hard work. She does all the editing
That's
and
not true.
stuff. I do the social media. That's how we
equally
break
hard.
it out.
That's equally hard.
And
Yeah.
then Lindsay does all the editing. So that's probably for me. I'm like, it's been so fun getting to know people. Lindsay's like in a dungeon, editing away.
How many followers?
Apparently.
What is book talk?
Yeah, so true.
TikTok?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh my God. No, but I do love that about y'all is that you do have divided roles, and I think it shows up too, because it has been neat to see where y'all have come when you started to where you're at today, right? And we'll get to the different things that you guys have been able to do. Maybe before we get started, we give them the gift.
No. Do we start doing?
Nothing.
Yeah, God, we're terrible.
We have to start sending gifts to people.
It's my
Okay.
love language.
Wow.
Ask Brittany to.
Oh, yeah. Brittany is like the best gift giver.
Oh, it's also my love language. We were just
Lindsay, open it.
Your love
It's
language
so
is receiving
cute.
gifts. No.
I love this.
Okay, you can see what's inside and show the camera.
Ooh, it's a little coffee
Oh,
blend
much
from
needed.
Starbucks. Thank you. I love that it kind of matches with the color of the bag too.
Which, that must have been a breadcrumb.
You get
That is so cool. Wait, is it an audio?
it's
Audio
a
tape.
cassette.
I love it.
I was like, she probably doesn't have this in her collection.
No. Oh my God. Where did you
Perfect
even
find.
find
I don't
this?
remember, but I thrift a lot.
It was meant to be.
And so
I
the
love
second I
this
saw
so
that,
much.
We've actually had it with us for a
while.
very long time, waiting for this to happen.
Thank you so
Yeah.
We'll do a big hug afterwards.
Plus, I love these bookmarks. They're so well
You guys did
designed.
such a
I
good
know.
job.
It's a good design eye.
That's a nod to our collaboration, right? We have an idea. It sparks on our
And
weekly
set this too.
meeting.
Was an event that actually there were 2 things. We went to see Mel Robbins and Ryan Holiday.
Yeah.
And so we wanted, not we, Dani wanted to gift them something. I'm not the gift giver. I love people getting the gifts.
Yeah, I get it.
I love her ideas, but like I don't think of them. And then also Dani had a
It's somebody else that's going to be a guest on the podcast, and she actually lives in the neighborhood, but she's launching a product. So it's called the Secret Date Society, and she was having a launch party, and so she was making swag bags, and so we printed those so that we can add them.
Oh,
to
that's
her
cool.
swag.
So good. So smart.
Thanks
Thanks
we're
for
thrilled to
having
be
us.
here. Yeah.
it doesn't feel real. I'm like, oh, am I dreaming?
No, you'll look back on this and be like, remember that?
Mhm.
We're not doing one single thing the same way anymore.
Yes, things will change.
Things will change.
We have listened to some of our earlier episodes and we're like, huh.
Which is funny because at the time we're like, we crushed.
Yeah.
That. It was perfect.
And now you cringe.
And
now
now
we're
we're
like,
like, these are
oh.
awful. What were you thinking?
Huh,
The
my
Duluth
Rumble-
really got us through. Yeah.
Our husbands were really nice though. Like they kept pumping us up and they're like, you guys are so good.
Oh,
So
yeah.
talented.
that's a good man.
Yeah,
That's a
they
good
were
man right
they were
there.
really, really good about that. So
Lying.
I think I blame them.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? That's okay.
I blame them for our
Yeah,
delusion of
that's
being
true.
professional podcasters.
I love that. They saw that in y'all, and this is I don't know if y'all have seen this, but when you do a new creative venture, you almost have to believe in yourself more than your friends and your family, because they don't always quite get it at first, because they have to kind of, I don't know, for me at least, I've seen this where you almost have to explain yourself. So then they have to put you in a new box, picture yourself doing this. And it's not until you almost have created something where they kind of go, oh, okay, I get this. It's not that they couldn't see that we couldn't do it. It's just, it's out of their comfort zone. So it makes them sometimes uncomfortable that you're going outside of your comfort zone. I don't know if y'all have
Have y'all
experienced
seen that meme going around where people are trying to make it as like an online content creator? They're saying that strangers are nicer to them than their own family members
That's
at times.
1000%
And I
true.
believe that's that's really true.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we got so much support on everybody from like the book community themselves, people that we didn't know. Then I mean, some of our family members started following us and everything, but they don't really listen to our episodes.
Not a
or-
one single
Yeah.
family member listens to one.
Yeah,
which is
That's
a
it.
free way to support.
Yeah.
Exactly, but they don't.
They
But
don't.
like instead, it's like the community that we just met throughout the podcast that have been so supportive.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny and it kind of goes with what you were saying.
Absolutely. So what is the biggest thing that has looked different from when y'all first started to now?
We outline now.
We outlined. Yes. I think, I mean, I don't know. It's hard for me because I am very type A. So I was very attached to things looking and being a very certain way. And like sometimes that worked and sometimes it didn't. And like we just had to learn to be like, just give up on that. It like made our episodes worse when I would be like, we need to cut for time right now. We're talking too long about this thing. And then I would be like, oh shit, Magda was saying something like really important there. And I like cut her off. So like I've had to learn to be like, you got to let it go a little bit more.
Yeah, I think also we've become a little bit more on point on our message. I think we used to
Yes.
ramble a lot more. And I think it's been a learning process. I'm not saying we're perfect at it, but it's taken us a while to kind of understand each of our cues and try to get to the point faster. So I think we've gotten much better about that. Or Lindsay's editing has been magical.
No, I don't think it's my
But-
editing because I think it is like, yeah, you kind of learn. Now we're babbling. Sorry, we're just going to get really into this. But like, I think that people think that like different kinds of art are fundamentally different. And the more that we've made different things like live episodes or this or like writing or whatever, the central thing that I found is like you have to have a hypothesis. You have to have a message that you're working toward. And I think at the beginning we were like, we'll just travel down the road and see where we'll go. And it's like, no, every episode needs to have something that we're saying, and then we'll explain why we're saying it, and then we restate the thing that we're saying. And it made our episodes like so much more meaningful because we would know like what we were trying to have listeners get out of it.
Because y'all have a really great relationship, it seems. But I know you've been doing this for a year and a half. What I'm interested in is because obviously this is the breadcrumb effect. Like, how did y'all meet? And do y'all think that y'all have any like noticeable breadcrumbs from meeting to the podcast?
I'm going to say no. I mean, we met at work.
Yes,
So that's how we
okay.
met. We met like over 10 years ago at work.
Wow.
So we've known each other for a very, very long time.
Mhm.
And I think what gravitated towards us, I think, was our work ethic. I
Mhm.
think we know how we work and that we can depend on each other. And I think we were at a point, I don't want to speak for you, Lindsay, but I felt like I was in a point that I needed something else outside of my regular day job. Like I was getting burnt out. I think we all get to that point in our life in our 30s or maybe late 20s or wherever you are in your life where you're just like, I don't want this to be the only thing that I do because,
Yes.
I mean, no offense, but like my regular job, it's cool, it's nice, it pays my bills, but it doesn't feel me creative, like my creativity at all. So I think Lindsay might have felt the same way. We were like, we need to do something with this. And I think we both liked reading and we were kind of talking about a couple of ideas. And then we're like, what if we start with a podcast? I knew nothing about a podcast. And I was just like, how about that? And then here we are. But I don't know if we had like a breadcrumb from like 10 years ago that kind of led us down this path.
I don't know if it's like, oh, well, I don't know. Maybe. I do actually think they are breadcrumbs if you think about it this way, in that, like, I don't think that we ever thought that we were going to work on something creative together. I don't think that was like ever the goal. But Magda's right. Like, I don't think that we would have done this we would have had as much success with it if we didn't work together first, because that working relationship is really hard to navigate. And I actually had people that I was close friends with that are also big readers that were like, maybe felt a type of way that I didn't offer to do something like that with them. But it's a special balance, I think, to have like a really strong friendship and then also be able to work together and like disagree and figure out how to work through that disagreement, or like be productive and not overly critical and like know where one person is going to thrive. Like Magda is objectively better at things that I am not good at, like social media, the relationships. And like I've had to learn to like not be jealous of that or insecure about that, but just see it as a strength in our relationship that like we can kind of fill in for each other. And that in that way, like having that 10-year working relationship made that creative partnership like much easier.
Yeah, I think just using that as a mirror for us, that we have found that you have to also enjoy the amount of time that you spend with that other person, because there's planning sessions, right? We bounce ideas back and forth, and you do spend a lot of time with this other individual. And I agree with what you're saying about it's so important to have a creative outlet, right? I blew up my life, right? And it looks completely different than it does now. And then I realized that that creative energy has to be channeled somewhere. And I found that when I was working in tech, it took all of my creative energy, and I didn't have anything left for at home or doing these ventures like this that were those small voices in the back of my head that said, do a podcast, right? I never had the energy for that.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest thing. I found myself that I was giving everything to my job. And that's okay if that's what your passion is, right? But it was kind of nice to get a little something else on the side that was truly like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this thing because it's already 6:30 or 7 p.m. Yeah. So it's time to kind of focus on what's going to fulfill me. And I don't know, I feel like it's busy, it gets really hectic, but I have found that I like myself better because I'm able to do work on something that it brings me joy. It's something that we're doing for ourselves. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of nice to be able to kind of set up a boundary between your, I don't want to say high paying job, but the job that pays my bills versus the one that like I'm doing creative.
For now,
yeah. Manifestation.
For now, yes.
For now. I was going to say, because we know all about Literally Podcast, but I don't know that everyone that's listening or watching would know. So if you could do a little plug and tell us a little bit about how the podcast came about, what y'all talk about, I think that would be good for everyone.
Okay, well, we're Literally Books, the podcast where we read literally anything, because it shouldn't be a saga to find your next favorite read. We talk about all different genres of books. In fact, this next year, a thing we're focusing on is really expanding that to other kinds of genres like poetry and nonfiction and things that we know nothing about. How it came to be, Magda can take 100% credit because she offered this idea and I was like, I don't want to do this at all. Fully. I was like, I have no interest in it. And now I'm like, it's like that meme where they're like, someone's going to suggest to do this thing, do that thing. Like, I would have been an idiot to not do this. Please explain this story, because I would have tanked us immediately.
Well, I mean, like, I think we were thinking like, we need to do something else. Can we do something? And we just kind of, I was chatting with my husband. I'm like, I don't know, like, we need to do something. And he's like, what if you start with something that is cheap, like a podcast, which is not really cheap. We didn't know that. We didn't know that. But we were like, yeah, let's do it. And it took us a while. I think it was like a 5-month planning situation. And I think Lindsay was really good about like, we just need to get something out there. Let's just get an episode out and then get on the schedule and see what happens. And we tried a lot of things. I think at one point I made Lindsay do a live reaction to Bridgerton episodes online, and she hated me for it. To this day, some of our most viewed
It's so
videos on
true.
YouTube, like
Are those?
crazy.
Mhm.
Yes.
I'm going back and watching
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah, and I know for Lindsay,
still-
like I don't know why anyone is
Bring that
watching
up.
this.
Yeah, it's
Lindsay
so crazy.
hated me. She's
Yeah.
like, I don't ever want to do this again. And I'm like, but look at the views.
So funny.
People love us. Not really. There's a lot of hate. I mean, and that was, I think, also our very first experience with getting people to hate on you on the internet. I think it was those Bridgerton videos of people are very passionate about things and they have opinions and they'll call things out. And that was like our first instance where we just kind of had to start ignoring the comments, grow a thick skin, which people tell you that, but you're like, how bad can it be until it's directed at you?
Yeah.
I think that's a very different thing. But it was, you kind of learn and you grow from there. But I think that was some of the things that we've tried out and see like, what can we do from here? And I think something that I admire from Lindsay, even though she's not going to agree to it, she's really open to like the ridiculous ideas that I throw at her. Like that one was kind of crazy. Or when we started doing the live shows, we're like, we'll wing it and see what happens. And it's been kind of a cool experience.
Mhm.
That's so great.
No, but you guys were mentioning, like, I do find that, like, I think what Lindsay said earlier, it's about balance in what you were saying, like, oh, Dani's the gift giver. Like, I find it at times with Lindsay where I'll pitch an idea and, like, she's so good about, like, okay, I'll take that base and then we're gonna, like, amp it up, like, 10 times what it is. And I think it's kind of nice to see that with both of you as well. Like,
Yeah.
you can kind of see, like, okay, here's the initial idea and then somebody else will kind of take it to the next level, and you need that collaboration because you want to be able to kind of have that creative partnership where you can kind of bounce ideas off of each other and feel comfortable of like amping them up.
Yeah, can you imagine doing this alone?
No.
No.
I don't know how
No.
anyone does it alone. Although I know it's hard. I like get why people are hesitant about it because it is like, I mean, it's like a marriage in some ways. Like our partners both joke like that. Like one night I put an event on our family calendar and my husband thought it was for he and I, but it was actually for Magda and I, just so he knew that I was gonna be out. And he was like so upset. It was not something he wanted to do. Like he was like, I thought you were planning something for us. So you have to like get pretty good about being
That's so funny.
like navigating anyway.
Yeah, it's like your second marriage.
It is.
It
It really
is.
is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny how like immediately like Lindsay took over right after my husband in like the most like text per person and things
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know.
Or like my family. So I'm like, okay, she's moving on to my favorite.
Sorry, guys. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I mean, they might as well put her as my second emergency contact at this point.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Like,
And most likely she will answer before my husband, I think.
Yeah.
My husband will send it to
I'll be
voicemail.
like, why are you calling? This is so
Then
weird.
Lindsay will have to call
Yes, I
him.
love that.
Do people at work know that y'all do this?
Some,
Some.
not all of them. Yeah.
Mhm.
I think like we mentioned, we do try to keep it. We work for a very big tech company, so we have to have really clear boundaries between our professional job and our personal activities. That sounded really
No.
yeah, but it's
right,
true.
right.
So we do like we try to do our best. Like we have separate equipment, separate accounts for everything. So a few people have found us and they've been really, really supportive, but it's not something that we actively communicate to people that we're doing this endeavor. Even though it has nothing to do with our real job, I think I feel more comfortable having some sort of division between the two.
Same.
Well,
Some people
more
know.
People might know.
They're
that you
stalkers.
know.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like people
Oh,
have been really good about it. I have a couple people that they're like, they know about it and then they'll kind of support us like
On the slide.
tangentially on the
Yes.
side. They're really good about it. And also, I mean, if you go into social media, a lot of the times you're like, oh, you may know this person or you may know this.
yeah,
So I think now with
Digital
that,
breadcrumb.
that's
Yeah.
what's
Ruining
good.
every. Yes,
job.
exactly.
The old algorithmic.
It's just
Yeah,
it's Mark
you're an
Zuckerberg.
analog breadcrumb world. It's way more satisfying.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, so do y'all remember how we first met?
It was at well, I know that we met at work like forever
Yeah.
ago, but we
We didn't
met.
realize that at first.
Yes,
though.
no, it was a book event, but I don't remember what it was.
I don't remember either. I don't even know
It
how
would have
we
been you for sure. That
But
probably.
I think it was an event at Lark and Owl at
Oh,
some
was it?
point that we met. And I think that's how we kind of start introduced to our Texas Bookstagram chat, like support. And I think with that is how we kind of started chatting online a little bit. But I can't remember which Lark and Owl event it was that we met you. And then from there, I think after what was it, like the San Antonio meetup, I think?
Yeah.
That's kind of how we started getting a little bit closer together.
That definitely solidified it. So last night, I was trying to also remember. So I actually went to our messages and scrolled all the way to the top to be like, what was our first digital conversation? And I thought, and I knew I was wrong because I'd asked you about this before, and you were like, no, I thought I had met you at an Allie Hazelwood Lark and Owl event where I thought it was you. It wasn't you. Had a cart behind me and I had my heavy book tote and it was hurting my back. And she, who I thought was you, offered to let me put my purse in the cart. So thank you, not you.
You're welcome, not me.
That person's probably listening to the episode and they're like, it was me. They're going to come on here.
I know, like,
They're
they're
gonna
gonna
call it. Yeah, exactly.
I thought that was you. So very nice of you. And then last night I looked and it was actually, and please confirm if you were there because now I might be wrong. Catherine Center line dancing. Were you there?
That's
we were there for
what
that.
it was.
We have video of us dancing there.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were there.
You're
but
right.
We didn't actually meet each other there, but we met digitally after.
That's so funny.
I think I reshared either a reel that y'all did or a story, and then
We got
after
added.
that.
Yeah, I think that's right. And then we got added to the Bookstagram account.
Yeah.
So Dani, I'm going to brag on her because she is a network
Yeah, connect with
goddess.
people.
Oh
Yes.
my God. She is able to like introduce people and knows anybody that you could possibly need in the middle of the night. She's your hookup. Like she's the one that you go to. And you have put together this network of bookstagrammers together for Central Texas. And there's, I think, like over 200 of us in there.
Pretty awesome.
Of like authors, online creators, just people that like to read, bookstore owners. And it's so amazing because we get to know a lot of the book community events and organizers around our town. And that's all to Dani. Like Dani put all that together. So props to you because it's one of the things that I use the most.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's good to hear. And honestly, the chat, it started at Instagram, was just two of us. And similar to meeting y'all, like, hey, we should have lunch or do something. And then I was like, oh, well, if we're meeting there, we should invite so-and-so. And so 5 people turned to 10 and 15. And it started out as Austin only. And then it's like, oh, but then we have Lark and Owl. And then, oh, what about Waco? So then it is exactly what networking is. This network becomes this network, and then these rings extend outward. And so I was like, we got to stop at Texas. Like, and then these meetups, right? So we started our first one at Lark and Owl. And then because it is all of Texas, we want to try and get to everyone. We started out with quarterly, which is more like every 6 months now, maybe, but or more, where we vote on a different geography to have it. Right. This leads into our next breadcrumb. So for the entire network, we've done Waco, San Antonio, Lark and Owl, and then Houston has won the next one. So that'll have been 4 cities. And so I had not known Brittany very long. And I just took a risk to be like, hey, do you want to go on a couple trip with me to San Antonio?
Wait, so the Green Heron, when we saw you all at Green Heron Bookshop, that was like new in your friendship?
Taking it to the next level.
We had met
Wow.
a few months ago and did the big book reels.
Yeah.
Which was also
I remember
right?
that.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take it back a little bit, which is a preheating episode of how we met. And that episode, we go into it a lot more in depth. But do you want to share how we actually met?
Our daughters were BFF at daycare, and we had play date. And then she just randomly texted me. I was like, hey, do you want to do this? I got a big book. Do you want to do some reels with me? And I was like, fuck yeah.
I knew her vibe. Not like, let's just take it.
Sounds
like, a weird thing too, right? Y'all have done this big book thing with us.
I want to know what your
so-
hookup is for these big books too. Like that is impressive to me.
My neighbor. So she texts, big reader. She's not in the network, but she texted me one day, very like a week before I text you, and said, hey, I got these big books from a big retailer. And do you want one? And speaking of the creative mind, right? Not even 2 seconds later, I had this vision of doing these big book silly reels, going around town, doing things with a big book that you would normally do with a small book, right? You go in for coffee, you return a book to the library,
Go on a run.
And so I knew it would be with my neighbor, who's super fun. You just popped in my mind for a reason, breadcrumb, whatever. And that's oftentimes what a breadcrumb is. Something pops in your mind. It's a vision. It's that little voice that you need to listen to that was like, Brittany would be good for this.
Yeah.
Took a big risk because she could have been like, this lady's psycho.
And then we knocked them out very quickly. Like
In
you would
an
think
hour
it
and a
would
half
take
or less.
time,
Yeah.
but it was like, an hour and a half or less. And we had like 5 done.
8 in the morning.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sober.
8 in the morning.
That's
Yeah, she had me wake up early.
Wow.
I'm not the early riser of the group.
I know when I got that outline from you at 5:30 this morning, I was like,
Wow. Different lives, different lives.
different existences. Yeah.
But that's good. You guys match each other. Not to sound bad, like you match each other's weirdness. And I think you need that. Like I think Lindsay and I match our weirdness too. And like we can kind of balance it. So I think that's a really good indicator of whether or not you guys can work together. We're like, at 8 a.m. we're going to do these reels with these big books.
Exactly.
It's going to be a thing.
And so she, of course, agreed to do this girls trip. And then we knew we wanted to hit Green Heron on the way down.
Mm-hmm.
And then, was that our first time meeting in person that we knew of?
I think
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
So I think we had like a parasocial relationship before that, and then it was right. Yeah.
They were like,
It's so hard to tell now because now you're like, I don't know, I've seen your face like a million
now you're like,
times.
now you're like, we're friends. We've known each other forever.
Yeah, and you're
It's
like,
like,
never spoken aloud to this person, not one single time. I know it makes it really, but yeah, I think that was the first time we ever seen each other in person. Yeah.
on purpose. Meaning
On
like, I
purpose.
mean, I'm sure we saw each other potentially
Yeah.
at the Catherine Center event, but like I
Oh,
think this is
yeah.
like we were actually
Yeah.
having a conversation.
Except for it wasn't on purpose. It was totally kismet.
Yeah.
We just ran into you.
Yeah,
We weren't even at the event
ran
yet.
into y'all about. I keep wanting to say literally the plug.
Yeah. Thank you.
Literally, but pod. We had just talked about doing a podcast in the car on the way.
Mhm.
We go into what's it called again?
Green
Green
Heron?
Heron.
Green Heron, and we see y'all.
It was a sign.
It was a
Tell
sign.
me that's not a
Okay, I
fucking
just
red
thought
cross.
that's
Oh my
Breadcrumbs are
They're
good
goosebumps,
about
yeah.
me.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. You just said kismet.
Mhm.
Breadcrumb. This morning, yes, I wake up early to get a head start on the day and write. I set my alarm for 4:25 in the morning. Right now, to close out my book, I'm doing a different topic every day. And today, I was writing about how, speaking of tech, it all ties together. In 1993, MIT had their first artificial intelligence laboratory.
Mhm.
And by 1997, they developed their first AI social robot named Kismet.
Oh,
I love that.
I love it.
That keeps
Breadcrumb.
happening.
Yeah, breadcrumb.
Breadcrumb.
It's as we were talking, because when we first started recording, I was just like, I don't know if there was like any breadcrumbs or anything, but you guys are really good about tying things together
Mhm.
because it's because of you guys and that network that we were introduced to like Books by the Bay and a lot of like the Lark and Owl community and a lot of the people that are there. And that has led to some opportunities that we've been able to experience this year. So like thinking back is like, you guys were also or part of our breadcrumbs
Mhm.
by introducing us to a larger community and giving us a lot of opportunities here in Texas. So it's pretty exciting.
Very
that
true.
is all
Really
interconnected.
cool.
We're all
Yes.
connected.
Yes. And to your point, and Mel Robbins, actually, because I posed this question at their event, I wanted to hear about their breadcrumbs and their perspective on it. And Mel Robbins, she gets it. She had the best answer. Who knows if they air it, but either way, to her point, because she actually had an episode on this type of topic, and she said these signs happen all of the time. They go by and people don't notice. You have to be open to it. You have to be looking for it. You have to declare. I know we've talked about manifesting. We have a manifestation episode that once you put it out in the universe, these signs, they will show up everywhere.
Mhm.
Yeah, this year has changed my mind around manifestation. Like honestly, I was just like, I'm just gonna work hard and then do it. That's fine. But this year, like it totally flipped my mind around it because we were at the National Book Festival conference and we got to see Tracy Dion on stage, and Lindsay and I were like, let's just like after everybody leaves, let's like take a picture upstairs because we're gonna be moderating a panel like this at some point.
We asked a volunteer,
Yeah,
can
to
we
take a
climb up on
picture.
the stage where the moderators and the authors sit and take a picture? And they were so nice. There was no one in the room, but they were like,
They're like,
go
sure.
for it. And so we did it. Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we were like,
Manifested that moment.
we were just like, ha 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 ha, that's so funny because that's gonna be us. And then like literally 2 months later, we got to do the same thing at Texas Book Festival.
Wow.
So that moment to me is like, crap, manifestation is a real thing.
works.
Yeah.
And it works.
Yes. Okay. I do want to go back to Books by the Bay and that experience, but do you want to share more about this Texas Book Fest that y'all had an amazing opportunity to do? Because I felt like I was like a cheerleader cheering you all on. That was so awesome.
That was so
That's
cool.
very
you.
nice.
That was-
I mean, I think for us, that was like truly, we were joking because one, we had gone last year and our experience was like, we loved absolutely everything. We got to meet so many people that we knew from this community on Instagram in real life, but we were there to observe. We were there to like participate or whatever. And we said it would be so cool to moderate one of these panels, but we're like, whatever. So in January, I'm going to let you tell the back half of the story, but in January, we do like our planning session and we were like, again, the Delulu was an important part of the breadcrumbs. Because we probably sent out like 15 emails. I'm talking to like local news stations, authors that we were never going to get. And
We did get a response from Andy Weir, though.
that's true.
We got a response from him. So maybe it was the assistant, but I'll take it.
It doesn't
Hey,
matter.
Still counts.
And then one of them was Texas Book Festival. And we heard nothing. A pin drop, not one single response from any one of those emails, which is important, I think, because to your point about breadcrumbs, like I think sometimes we expect the trail to be very close together. And in this experience, it 100% was not. If you had asked us at that moment if anything was going to happen this year, we would have said no. We heard nothing back.
We, in our first time that we went to the Texas Book Festival in 2024, one of the panels that was the most impactful to us was this YA panel.
Oh my God, I didn't even talk about
And
this. Yeah.
that one had the author of
Jada Dia and Jazz Hammonds.
Yes.
Mhm.
And the person that was moderating that panel, we loved her. Her name is Wale. And she's like an author therapist type of thing. She has like a really big big following online for like Bookstagram and things like that. And we just reached out to her because we loved her so much. And we're like, hey, do you want to come on the podcast? Just talk about like, characters that need therapists and books. Ha 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 ha. And she came on and then we asked her like, hey, how did you get into the Texas Book Festival? And she's like, oh, I just emailed them. And that was it. So that's why we're like, we'll do that and see what happens. But then, which we didn't hear anything. But the other big thing of it is when we covered the Texas Book Festival last year, we had a couple of clips that did pretty well around that YA panel. And we started interacting with one of the YA coordinator, Michelle, who puts a lot of these events together. So she kind of knew us parasocially a little bit.
Mhm.
And then we didn't hear anything else from Texas Book Festival, which is fine. But then weirdly, we went to an RF Kwang event and it was put together by Book People and the Texas Book Festival together. And we got to see the literary director of the entire festival there. And
Hannah.
Hannah.
And Michelle was there as well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
so
I've never done this in my entire life. This is what I'm saying about like, you really have to reframe your mindset like you were talking about to like recognize these moments because Magda's right. Like we went to that panel, that YA panel completely on a whim. We didn't know the authors. It was the thing that connected us to these people. It was completely random. And then I was like, we got to do it. We got to go up to her. We got to do it.
We have to tell you about something we've been loving lately. It fits our whole breadcrumb philosophy perfectly. It's called the Feel Good Workbook, and it was created by Dr. Kell, who you might remember from our manifesting episode. You know how she talks about following the universe's breadcrumbs? This workbook is basically that, but on paper, with actual tools you can use in real life. The idea behind it is honestly so simple, but so powerful. It teaches you how to use your human guidance system, which is basically your built-in compass for life. Think of it like the game Hot and Cold. When something feels good, you're moving in the right direction. When something feels heavy or off, that's your signal that you're getting colder and maybe taking a step away from what you actually want. What we love about this workbook is that it shows you how to read those emotional signals in real time and then shift back to feeling good fast. Not ignore your feelings, not push through. Just gently course correct so you stay aligned with where you're meant to go. Because here's the thing, the key to health, healing, and honestly creating a life you love is feeling good. And when you feel good, you're aligned, you're magnetic, you're following the breadcrumbs. And when you don't, this workbook helps you figure out why and what to do next. And the best part is our listeners get 10% off the Feel Good Workbook. Just use the code breadcrumbs10 at checkout. Feel free to go to the link in our show notes, or you can go to Linktree/Dr. Kelly, that's Dr.Kelley. So if you're trying to live more intentionally, more aligned, and actually enjoy the path you're on, this is such a good place to start.
we got to go up to her. We got to do it. And I blacked out and was like, hi, we're from the Literally Books podcast. We emailed you. We love your event. We want to do anything. We'll do anything. We'll do anything you can want us to do. And she gave us our card and she was like, email me again. And so we literally sent an adjusted email that was essentially what we had already sent. Yeah. And they responded back a few days later and they're like, pick one of these 3 panels. And 2 of the 3 panels were authors that we are obsessed with. And so it was just like, shocking.
Crying. It was just, I could not.
Magda did cry, which I was
crying. Like I was bawling on
Well
FaceTime
deserved
with Lindsay. But I mean, honestly, it was, I think, Michelle from like the YA coordinator. Like I think she put a little bit more faith in us and like, oh yeah, let's give them a chance. And I will forever be grateful to her. Because I mean, she literally took a chance on like this nobody. So we're like, yeah, we can moderate a panel. Totally fine. But honestly, I mean, that was just one of the many breadcrumbs. Like we also had opportunities to do live shows this year, which I think helped us prepare to get to that event, which we didn't know about, which is kind of fun.
Okay, I'm going to cut in because I'm going to say a few things that I'm hearing here. So you put it out in the world that you want to do something. You show up the way that you show up, right? And you mentioned it a little bit ago that you can just put things out there. But if you don't do the work, right, it's not going to come either. So you came out of your comfort zone, did something unexpected. You made connecting points that wouldn't normally happen. You show up the way you show up, which shows that people can have faith in you. And so I think it all ties together and it gets you where you want to be. And time-wise, it might not be the next day. Sometimes it takes 20 years, and I know we've messaged this about manifestation before. Everything I've ever manifested or wrote down or want to come true has come true, which tells me that I haven't thought big enough at all. Mm-hmm. And there can't be a time. It can be 6 months. It's also taken 20 years before. Just some thoughts.
Yeah. There's detours for sure. You know, it's never like Lindsay mentioned earlier. It's never a straight line of like, we did it and then it happened. No, it's just like, okay, well, we didn't hear anything. We'll keep going. But then at the same time, we're offered and worked to get other opportunities that honestly got us ready to where we wanted to be. And I'm not saying like, we got this, we're professionals. I still feel like I don't know what I'm doing. I feel like that feeling never goes away, but it makes you feel a little bit more prepared to what's to come.
Yeah. I feel like the lives probably really helped a lot.
Yes. And those were intense moments.
I'd like to hear more about that. Yeah.
Yeah, those were intense moments. I think those are moments that like really tested our relationship for working, where we're like, because it's a lot of stressful moments. So, you know, like we could like get snappy with each other.
I got snappy. Yeah.
And then I snapped back. No, that one was better. One. But like Books by the Way was a little more intense.
It was bigger. We were further away from home.
It was more intense.
More people. Yeah.
And I think for Lark and Owl, I think it was more like, we don't know what we're getting into.
Y'all did great.
Oh, thank you. But it was really nerve-wracking, I think. Yeah. And I am the type of person that I don't get my nerves until I sit down. Like it takes me like I'm like, I'm cool. This is totally fine. Sit down. I'm like blank. I don't know anything. I don't know what's happening. Lindsay's the opposite. Lindsay gets nervous leading up to the event.
Yes.
She sits down and she's like, professional mode, newscaster on. And like, I'm ready. I am not like, I'm like, Lindsay, you need to take me the first 5 minutes because I cannot do this. But yeah, so it's kind of nice. So you will see that there's going to be those moments where like you're trying to do bigger things where like it's going to, I don't want to say test you, but you're going to have to be able to know each other pretty well to be like, okay, we have to get past this and move on to the next thing.
Yeah. Well, here's the other thing. Okay, this is like, you mentioned this, and I think you mentioned this at the beginning too, Dani, like, I think the other breadcrumb is, I always wanted to do something creative. I knew that. And like, I went in for a lot of creative things, but I didn't have the perspective yet when I was younger, I don't think, to really knew what I wanted to say. Like, I was very much like feeding off of like, oh, I'm observing this thing and I like it. So I'm like regurgitating that thing back. But I didn't really understand like what it was about that thing that was important to me. And I also didn't have the like, I didn't have the like skin yet to be like, this is probably going to fail. And that doesn't mean like it's a complete failure. And I think that's the thing, like over the last year that I've really worked on getting over is just like the breadcrumbs of stuff where like at 20, if we had sent an email and didn't get a response, I would have been like, it's a sign I'm not supposed to do this and I'm not good enough. It's about who I am not doing enough and not being enough to keep going. Whereas now we're just like, it's a freaking email. I don't know. We got other stuff we got to do. So like, let's try something else. And I think that part of breadcrumbing is really hard to like get a handle on until you just reach a certain age that you're just like, oh, just not hitting this milestone that you randomly set exactly the way that you wanted to set it by the certain time really is like probably just because that thing was not the thing that you were supposed to be doing. I hate when people say that.
That's true though.
But I think it
There's
is
a
like,
reason that saying exists.
like, or like, there's this thing I'm obsessed with, which is like rejection is protection, which is
Yes.
like, if you get an approval that you're not ready for, if we had gotten the live show 2 months into our podcast, it would have failed. We would not have been ready. And so if we had moved as quickly as I'd wanted to like get to these points of success, we wouldn't have been prepared to do them well. And so that is hard for me because I'm like, oh, I hate that expression. Everything works out the way that it's supposed to. But it is a little bit of like have the humility to be like, you just weren't ready to do it well then.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Oh, I love
Yeah.
her so much. She's so smart.
No.
No, it's true.
Yeah.
No, we need to put that quote down because it is true. I turned 40 last year, and we just talked about this recently, right? Where I felt like turning that age gave me sort of this chip on my shoulder of I don't care anymore. I don't have that energy. I don't have like, let's just throw ourselves out there, and if it sticks, awesome. But that I probably would not have felt that same courage in my 30s like I do now to start this.
I also think that like, I don't know if it's with age or just time, like, you know, or maybe it's just society. They put societal norms on you of you need to do this by this, or if you do X, then you get Y. But that's not life. Like you can do X till you're blue in the face and Y might not come for 5 to 10, 15 or never. Because now maybe you go from X to Z and then you look when you look back, because it's never in the moment. You never see the breadcrumbs in the moment. When you look back is when you say, holy shit, I was always meant to be here. And that's why I went through the bullshit or the rejection or whatever it is.
Oh, yeah.
Big believer in that.
I was going to say, we didn't actually finish our breadcrumbs because then after Green Heron, we knew that was a breadcrumb seeing y'all. I don't think y'all knew that in that moment that, oh my God. We were like, talked about it. We were like freaking out all the way to San Antonio. And then we were excited in the hotel. And then we started planning in OneNote, the details on the podcast, had no idea how much would go into it. Like, oh my gosh, it is not easy to put up a podcast. Okay, it's easy for anybody in their garage to just hit record. But we wanted to show up a certain way. We want to do things. We want to shape the way y'all show up, right? And so we really appreciated when y'all agreed to have lunch with us at Easy Tire so that we could just pick your brain. We wanted to know what an average week looked like. We wanted to know what planning. We wanted to know about your software, hardware, all of that. Still hadn't realized we had a different connection. We had the whole lunch. Y'all have been a very huge part of us standing this podcast up. Was I staring at you at lunch and I was like,
I don't know. I don't in my memory I did not clock that you were making too long of eye contact. So
She's
you're
like
good.
this.
Yes. I feel like I would have remembered that and been like, is she okay? But no, no.
Like, she's 40 now.
Yeah.
She wants to test things out. It's fine.
Yeah,
she's
she's
full of Dani.
She's trying to see what my tolerances
I
for
feel
this.
the vibe.
She's intense. Yes. I was at lunch. I'm staring at you and I was like, I know you from something else. That's not this. And I think it was in that moment where I was like, we said we work at tech. What company? Oh, it's the same company. And we started narrowing it down as you do.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what organization? Okay, what building? What floor?
Yep.
We're like, we worked on the same floor
Yes.
for years
Yeah.
without knowing.
Yeah. And I think we had projects that we touched on that we might not have worked directly,
Yeah.
but right, like if comms came out of work that I was working on, but we needed to communicate something that y'all were working on, like we had
Yeah.
a touch point, which is a breadcrumb.
Totally.
We wouldn't have ever known.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have
Yeah,
known.
Brittany, if you didn't know, like you and I went to daycare together too.
We did actually.
We did, yeah. Yeah, it's a lie. I was not born in Colombia. I'm from Texas. Yeah.
This action, she's been working so hard on
Fake.
it for.
It's all a lie.
Let's hear about y'all's individual breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I would say, you know, like tell us a little bit about, it doesn't have to be like from the time you're a baby.
I was born
Yeah,
on a Tuesday.
But, you know, like sometimes we think about breadcrumbs as something that happened in your life that, again, like we said, like you can look back upon. Are there any breadcrumbs that are from childhood or maybe something that someone had shown you during childhood that you can look back and think, wow, that changed the trajectory of my life?
I don't know. I think just kind of thinking back and like as we're having this conversation, there's a couple of like two scenes in my head that come to mind. And the first one is my dad lives in Colombia and he's a sports journalist and he has his own like network and everything in Colombia where he does a lot of like the local sports and he has his own like show and like radio station and he does like on podcast now and he does lives and I always admire that because like every time that I would go to school people were like, oh yeah, my family, like my parents listen to your dad all the time and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so freaking cool. But like that's just like, oh, that's so cool that he does that. It was never like I want to do that, but that was like one of the earlier signs of like sportcasting and stuff. And like we kind of drifted apart and then recently we kind of came back together and like he's been offering like he's like, oh, I've been watching you and you guys have like such good presence and you'll do so well. And also, and he kind of sees it from like the eye of, he's a sports journalist, but like it's kind of cool to be able to see that like, yeah, you guys are so natural and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of cool. So that's kind of like one of those earlier like exposures to that world that I had seen, not knowing that I was potentially going to be doing something similar. And then the next one up is like probably when I was maybe 26, 27. I knew pretty early on, I'm like, I'm going to need to do something creative. But one of the things that came on is when Twitch first came on to the world. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Twitch. It's just like a live streaming app.
It used to be video games.
Yeah,
and it like
can stream a lot of
branched
things.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. So initially it was very like video games heavy. Like that's all it was. But then I started seeing a couple of other people doing other things in it. And I'm like, could that be something that I could do? And one of the things that I was really early on tinkering on is like, oh, maybe I can do like a live show where like I'm just cooking dinner and trying out recipes from different cookbooks. I'm not the best cook, but I like to cook. So maybe I could do that. But then I was just like, no, that's too vulnerable. It would just be me. Kind of weird just putting yourself out there into the like, I don't know, you're 25, you're 26, but like, you're just like, what? I don't, this is weird. So you just kind of put that aside. And then now where I'm at in my late 30s, I'm like, who the F cares? I'm just going to put myself out there and try this out. And I think to what Lindsay was mentioning earlier, I think these things happen at the right time because I feel like I would have gotten in so much trouble if I would have gone with the live show, cooking, streaming thing that I had in my mind.
You could have been Ina Garten.
Maybe. I could have been in Bon Appetit.
Yeah.
Who knows? But yeah, it was that. Those were like my two things where I'm like, I was kind of tinkering with the ideas of doing something in media, I guess. I don't know what we call it. So it's kind of cool to see that. And like now, Lindsay just kind of refreshed, like, yeah, things happen when you need them and when you're ready to do it. Because right now, something that my husband has kind of put in my head really vividly, and I think it's right, is like, people don't really care about you. Like, I think we're in our heads too much. And like we kind of put too much pressure on us to be perfect and doing it. And it's like, people like just move on with their lives and then that's it. Like it's fine. Like you're not the center of the world.
It's like that line from Schitt's Creek where she's like, nobody cares, David. David, nobody cares.
That's exactly how my husband says it.
Yeah.
Nobody cares, Magda. But it really is. And I think I think I'm at the stage of my life that I'm like, yeah, nobody really cares about you. And like, to your point, like, it comes with like maybe it's maturity or just like I'm getting old and I'm like, life's too short. I'm just gonna do whatever I want. And some of the things we do might be cringe, but I enjoy them. I think it's fun.
You're having fun, so who cares?
So who cares?
Exactly.
And some people laugh and I get DMs about it. That was really funny. And I'm like, okay, so it's not just me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think so like the main two things that kind of were placed in my life at weird times that kind of put me in this path potentially. What about you, Lindsay?
This is hard. Yeah, it's hard to think about. Like with Magda, I always knew like I wanted to do something creative. My first memory of being like, oh my God, you're such an idiot is that I would steal my mom's coffee from the morning at night with my friends and put cold coffee in a mug and pretend to drink it and write spec scripts for my favorite children's television shows. So like 8-year-old Lindsay was like writing episodes of Rugrats that she wanted to watch at her kitchen.
I'm obsessed. I'm freaking obsessed.
It was so embarrassing.
Also, 8-year-old with a cigarette.
Honestly, I could just rolled up a piece of
totally had
paper.
a big mom, so like I would absolutely have done that, except for like I thought they were disgusting. I had that wherewithal, but I'm like sure I was supposed to be 5'10", and I like drink coffee at 7, and now I'm 5'5", and it's nothing doing. But I was like, this is who I want to be. Like I had that vision in mind of like what my adulthood would be, and of course, it's not. I did not write for Rugrats, sadly.
We can see them make that
I was going to
happen.
say, it's never too late.
Yeah, we can make it happen.
But like, it is funny. So I did go to school for like film production and things like that. And I like, when I graduated was in a time that nobody had jobs. It was like 2008, 2009. And I moved to Tennessee with a partner. Do not recommend this to anyone young that's listening because it's very hard to do that. But I got a job, which I thought was my dream job, which is an editing job, a video editing job for a network that was affiliated with HGTV. And I was like, this is it. I've made it. It's my entire dream. And I was not creatively fulfilled. I was exhausted. It just didn't, in reality, quite match up with my vision of it. And I was not making things or like doing anything. It wasn't really creative, even though it was like monetarily lucrative for my age. You know, it was like fine. And I was like, I don't know what to do. And so I started working at a part-time job for health insurance. And like, I think that moment is important because I really realized like sometimes your vision of like what the thing you want is not really the thing of that. And that was like devastating for me at the time. I was like, oh my God, I'm about to quit this job. That was like my end goal. And I'm 24 and or 23 and I don't know what I'm going to do next. And like, it just, nothing really happened then for like a decade. I was just kind of floundering, trying to figure out like what was the next thing I was going to work on. And I got very focused on like making money and building a more solid life. And I really was doing nothing creative whatsoever. And you kind of hit a peak, I think, if you're a creative person where you're like, I am going to die if I don't do something. I mean, that's dramatic, but you know, you're like, I'm so unhappy and I can't really pinpoint why. And it's because you're like not being fulfilled. And so when Magda said this, like, I am a person who likes to start things, but it's hard for me to get over that hump of like putting myself out there and being judged. Like that's the hardest part of art, I think, is just to be like, oh, someone can just hate it. And it's not like a project that I didn't do well on at work. It's like who I am and what my vision of the world is. And that's like, I think, much harder to like deal with the devastation, but with someone else there who's just sort of like pumping you up at the right times, but also reining you in at other times. Like that was like getting to that point was when we needed it, but also like too late. Cause I wish I'd been like, oh, get over yourself earlier. You could have been making so many more things. Anyway, yeah.
Y'all both talked about creativity as like your main focal point. And I find it interesting because I feel that as kids, we're very creative. We create so much art, so many cool things. Your daughter just made freaking surprise Labubus. So cute.
Amazing.
Right? Like,
It's amazing.
Yeah. And then we get through a phase where we don't create for a very long time, but we always want to go back to it. And if we don't go back to it, we are not fulfilled. And I think about the other generations and how if they didn't have a creative outlet, which a lot of people didn't, because life is hard and you have to work and make money and have a living. But now we're in a day and age where we can be creative and we can fuel our soul. And I don't know, I just think it's like so cool that like we all have one thing in common, which is to create. Doesn't matter what it's creating, but having some sort of creative outlet.
I'm obsessed with this because as a kid, you're right. You're rewarded for play in a way that you're not rewarded for play as an adult. If you do a drawing as a kid or build something, even if it sucks, a good parent will be like, good effort, great job, you know, it's amazing. And so you like want that feeling. You keep pursuing that feeling. Whereas an adult, you're like, everything relies on this thing being a success. I did not care at all about that when I was a kid. If it fails, whatever, I'll just move on to the next thing. I think you lose that as an adult. You put too much pressure on things being correct, and you're rewarded for making things correct as an adult, so you don't want to take the risk, and it really screws you up.
It really does.
It's the one good thing I think about social media is like the access to, when I went to school for film production, you had to have thousands of dollars at your disposal or like a way to rent it to do anything creative. Like, and you had to have 15 people. And now you can like sit on your couch on your phone and people make the funniest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's so cool that if people are rewarded, the only good thing I'll say about for that is people are rewarded for being silly and like trying things, you know?
Yeah. That's what I like about social media too, is you say you want to do it, you can just do it.
Yeah.
You don't always have to go to school for the thing that you want to do. That does give people knowledge and courage and all of that too. But you could just do it. And what I like about what you said too is this was in your background, sometimes indirectly or directly, and then you're able to channel it now years later. And you know it comes from a creative place, but you're also, what you're doing, you're talking to creative people as well, which probably also kind of fuels that creativity.
People have really good ideas, and you know, like going with that creativity thing, like sitting here and listening to you, I'm like, I wonder that's why people had some really messed up like midlife crisis in their lives back in the day or like now, because they didn't have an outlet to be able to explore other things that they enjoyed in a good way. And you can kind of, I don't know, this is just me spitballing.
Talk about this. You're actually sitting in my midlife crisis right now. Like you're in mine.
But you had a healthy one. There's some people that crash and burn in their midlife crises because like we've always, to what Lindsay was mentioning earlier, we have this ideal life that we're kind of pursuing since we were little. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have this super cool job and it's going to allow me to pay my bills and all of this and go up in the world. I'm like, but that's not really what I want to do for 50 years. Like that seems, now that I'm living it, I'm like, I don't know if I want to do that. And then just having like that extra balance of having like not this built up sense of like things not being able to let out. So maybe that's why we saw like this crazy people in the 80s or 90s with just like, I'm going to do all the drugs because that was like the only way to deal with it.
I feel like
I don't
you
know.
just hit the nail on the head.
Yeah,
honestly.
exactly right.
Like I never thought about it until you said it. I'm like, that's correct.
Yes, that is correct.
That is exactly it. Yeah. And actually, I feel the opposite. I'm now sober. Like I'm actually sober, right? Like I'm not doing my wine at night, and I feel better. I'm happier. I show up better, and it's like how do we do midlife crisis differently? Like this, you do it differently like this.
And I love it. Like, and it's like an ongoing joke and a meme of like, oh, you hit 35. Here's your midlife crisis, like plans, podcasting,
Yes.
or marathon running. And I'm like, I feel like those are really healthy midlife crises.
They are.
Exactly.
We're doing it right.
Yeah, we're doing the midlife crisis the right way.
Exactly.
I actually call it rebranding 40 is what I've called it.
I love it.
Rebranding.
I think
I
that's
like
good.
that.
I did a yoga photo shoot.
Yeah,
The
that was
aerial
cool.
one over water. I don't know if y'all have seen it. I bought that for myself for my 40th birthday. And I was like, I am rebranding 40.
Love it.
I love it too.
Also, I look at your pictures online when you're doing this aerial yoga poses. I'm so impressed.
I know. I'm like, oh my. She tried to teach me one time.
But you're getting
We should have freaking recorded that shit. That would have been hilarious. It hurt so bad. And I was like, this is hurting me. She was like, it's supposed to. I'm like,
it's working.
I don't want to do this.
It's good for lymphatic drainage. Just like, you have to like feel through the pain.
No, I don't know. Magda always tries to get me to go to Pilates with her, and I'm like, I don't think you understand. I would just be laying there, like, and trying to move and unable to. I couldn't do it.
I will keep trying to get her to go to Pilates. That is my new cult obsession. I totally get it. It is hard. And some of these like beautiful women and men just show up and they're like, yes, I will hold this pose for 20
I'm convinced
seconds.
they're unhappy.
Are they
No, I'm unhappy.
shaking?
Now do
Yeah.
this.
No.
Okay, now do it 100 times. Wait,
Yes.
it's like 100?
But you know, like I have been noticed because I've been doing a little bit more consistent, so I can kind of see I'm still shaking, but I can see an improvement. I'm like, that's my goal. I'm gonna be like them, where I can just hold poses. But anyways, yeah, that's my new cult.
Well, that's what they say in yoga too. If you're shaking, that means it's working.
It's working.
And then once you get to the point where you're not shaking, okay, well then you take it up a notch till you're shaking again.
then you do it again.
I don't understand that.
Have y'all heard about this massage that's not a massage? Okay, that's seems weird.
Excuse me, of
Not a
midlife
massage.
crisis.
It's like a hypnosis thing. You lay on a bed. Explain this well.
I
lay on
just
the
heard it.
table.
Oh, wait, this is a great story.
It's in the beanstalk, not a. Okay, yeah.
There's a happy ending.
I love it.
You lay on a table, and not a bed. Okay, a table, and this person is getting your trauma out, but not touching you.
Reiki?
Yeah.
Is that Reiki?
I think that's
that is
Reiki.
Oh, okay.
It's so good though.
Well, I do love it being there. We're like, yeah, that's Reiki. We do that. All the
Yeah,
time.
that's the weird. Yep, we do.
Yeah,
believe
you
it.
weren't understanding me.
Yes,
Have y'all done Reiki?
Yes,
I have as well.
I really want to do. Okay, I didn't know that was Reiki. I thought Reiki was
Yes.
something else, but I want to do that.
it's great.
I'm a believer in it.
Yeah, my mom was very woo woo when she was growing up. So like we were like in intensive like workshops throughout the weekend, teaching us how to do Reiki and receive
That's
it.
cool.
That
And
was
like
really
one of
cool.
your best friends is a Reiki.
Yeah, and then my best friend just recently became
She's a brand new-
certified. She travels a lot, so she she just like travels across. She's able to work remote, which I envy that. So she's just like, I'm gonna be in Maine this next 2 months, or like I'm going to Oregon. I love that
Love
lifestyle.
that.
she's a traveling healer.
Yeah, she is. She's a traveling healer. And she just recently got certified to do Reiki. So you can do it apparently virtually now, or when we were doing a Texas Book Fest, she said that she did it for us so we could do really well.
Oh,
So that was really proud.
Nice. Send us your info.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah, I
she's
want to do
great.
this.
Yeah,
Sure.
sure. I will. Her handle is Meditation Lady. Meditation Reiki Lady, I think. I'm gonna look that up. But yeah, she's great. She's
Yeah,
amazing.
we'll share it. We'll tag
Yeah.
her.
I don't know. I love this, you guys. You guys made me think of like breadcrumbs that I didn't even think about it. You guys just like found your way through them.
we're opening up the cosmos here.
I know. I love
we were gonna
this.
start we gotta start writing things down that we want for 2026.
Yeah, like when I
immediately.
was reading through your questions, I was just like, I don't know, a breadcrumb when I was little, I have no idea. But then it's like, oh, maybe that was a breadcrumb.
What's so funny is we were literally talking about your father on the way here today, and neither of us made that connection until right
Like
now. I
now,
was like,
like-
right, that does make so much
Y'all
sense.
never actually talked about that.
Mm-mm.
I think like that would be a big one.
I know.
Yeah.
No, but it's always the obvious ones that you're like have a
That you
hard
You
time.
just ignore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's part of your life. That is
Whatever.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm very focused on like, like pulling off the petals of a flower, and making sure that's right. That's the like cosmic validation I need, not like the obvious. Yeah.
Okay, so we have different segments that are all sort of bread related in name. And we can do this one with y'all that we call Carbloading, which is a category that's sort of our catch all. It's anything and everything. It can be what's coming up for y'all. What are you reading right now? Anything that you want to talk about. It's kind of our free for all. Is there anything in our Carbloading that y'all might talk about today?
I think we need to talk about that shadow daddies are on their way out. And we are probably entering a new dawn of golden boys coming into our world.
Are they?
Why do I say this? First, Lindsay recommended me this show called Maxton Hall. If
Are
you
you guys
guys
watching
haven't-
it?
No.
So good.
Where is it on? What's it on?
Prime.
Amazon
Okay.
Prime,
It's also based on a book. It's a German book.
called
And-
Save Me.
yeah, and the show is like a German show and everything, and it is so good. Enemies to lovers, full on yearning, male main character, Blondie.
So attractive. Like, here's the biggest thing I keep yelling at people about. I'm like, where are all the attractive Gen Zs? There are no attractive, like, especially
Think of one.
male men. Like, there's not one that I'm like, where is there Johnny Depp? Where is there Brad Pitt? Where is there? There's none of them. They're all dodos. Every last one. Like, no shade. But Timothée Chalamet is not
Oh,
a
no.
hunk. He's like a sweet little baby boy.
But
Mhm.
is it that he's a sweet little baby boy, or are we just getting old?
No, we're not
I
getting
don't
old.
know.
But I watched this show and I was like, this guy's hot.
Yes,
I'm
the
finally
dude
like,
is
I found
hot.
and like,
And he's Gen Z?
I
yes.
think so.
Okay,
He's very
Maybe
young.
Gen
What's the
Z.
name of
Yeah,
it?
show me.
Maxton Hall.
I'm like, show me.
But I texted Maggie and I was like, get on this goddamn show because
So good.
this is yearning at its finest. He's
It
got
is.
great hair. Oh, yeah.
No, and the way that he acts and everything, oh, so good.
But I'm just like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
have much.
But regretting you, I know, right? Like so Colleen Hoover, not
Yeah.
the best books, really good movies. Did y'all see Regretting?
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
Which
really
one is
good.
that one? Also, a
Pretty good, but
Blondie.
Also, so two things.
I forgot. I don't,
Wait, this is the one where his face
Brendan, really
with
good.
sister?
Oh, I don't remember.
I don't remember what they
Yeah,
looked
okay.
like.
For one, seeing that movie was funny because the dad in it is our age, and it was kind of weird to see like our age having kids that are now, which I know, right?
It
Are
happens.
18, 19, or 20. But
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, that actor used to be in movies
Right.
from when we were young, and now he's the dad.
Yeah, he was
But
the
now
teenager.
the 18-year-old is hot, and now I'm like feeling weird about. Can I say that?
Well, as
Yeah.
long as they're, I mean, it's,
It'll be
men have been
appropriate.
doing this forever.
Yes.
How long have they been commenting on women that are too young? So yeah, I'm getting on board.
Yeah.
I'm keeping them appropriate. 18 is
A little
that's
young.
a little too young. I'm not gonna find that
The
hot.
18.
No.
That is the spaghetti hair.
This is the problem. The men are so bottom barrel that this is what we're looking up to. He is fine. He's deeply fine. He
That is a little
the
broccoli
job.
spaghetti
Broccoli.
hair.
yes.
Broccoli.
You know,
It's a
that's
no
in
for
right
me.
now, though.
It's a no
It's
for
in.
me.
That's
It's
very
no.
in right now.
Mm-mm. No, it's not doing it.
She's cute.
Yeah, she's adorable.
really
the
cute.
women are getting more beautiful. The men
The
are
women
getting
are
worse.
beautiful. Yeah.
I think so too.
I
But
agree.
I also feel like I am finding myself more like for older, which is weird because I was normally like on
With your
par.
age?
But like, think about the same older people when they were younger. They were objectively more like my young love was Benicio del Toro. He still looks amazing. No, not Benicio del Toro.
I was like, okay.
No, it is Benicio del Toro. You guys are
I
thinking
gotta
Guillermo
look it
del
up.
Toro. It's Benicio del Toro.
Send
I
me-
was
show
right.
me, show me, show me.
Okay, you know, I was thinking
Benicio del Toro.
Show me, show
If
me.
you saw him, you'd be like, and young him was so hot, and older him is hot. Yes.
Let me see.
Yes. Look at him. Look at him young. Look at him young. I'm telling you. Look at him young. He was way hotter.
I did think of
Yeah.
Guillermo del Toro.
But you know what I do?
Young,
Let me
yes.
see.
He was gorgeous.
It's like when Harrison.
guys,
you
I
know
have
what?
different
Taste.
styles.
We
Okay?
have-
You don't
I have
think this
different
guy
styles.
is super hot, Magda? Help me out here.
Yes, I mean, you know, I love a good dark
I
hair
think,
man.
yeah.
I
Yes.
love him.
He's
Which is
kinda
what-
James Dean-esque, which I like.
Yes.
James Dean.
Anyway, I don't even know
But
what
yeah,
I'm
but
saying.
that's why I was saying, like, he's really, young Benicio Guillermo.
No,
what is it?
not Guillermo. I just thinking that the Frankenstein director, which, like, you know, doesn't live for every
Yeah.
pot. He's
There's something out there for everybody.
yeah.
Okay, but also speaking of how movies used to be, the female lead was always right, early 20s, the male 30s or 40s, right? And nobody questions gays' age gaps.
Yeah.
But one show that, and I don't watch a lot of TV, but when I was sick, I was like, what am I gonna do? And I didn't read. Have y'all seen this? Wait, nobody wants this.
Oh my God, I love
Oh,
Nobody
yeah.
Wants This.
Yeah, Netflix.
What I love
obsessed.
about that is she is a female in her 40s, and she's the female main character.
Is she in her 40s?
Abigail Love, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did not
Isabel.
realize that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yes,
obsessed with
she's in her
that.
40s, yes. Mhm.
And what's the guy's name?
Adam Brody.
Adam Brody.
Obsessed with him.
Started hot, been hot, stayed hot.
Obsessed
Yeah, I
with
know.
him.
Yep.
We all agree on
OC.
something.
Yes.
Okay.
The OC.
Yeah,
I know.
that is like.
And I was looking at him. I was like, where do I know him
Yeah,
from?
The OC. And I
He
love
was
his
set-
relationship with his wife, with
Oh,
Mister.
Oh,
too.
yes, right now.
Oh, and
Oh
she
my
is just
God.
iconic.
I
I
love her.
know.
Oh,
Freaking iconic.
That we can
Love
talk
her.
about them all day. That
I
sounds
know.
great.
It's a good carb load.
yeah. Actually, and you know, Mister is gonna be. Have you guys read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center?
No.
Oh, I have
It's
it.
an
I picked up a signed copy at Larkin House.
I think it's
Today.
one of my favorite of hers. I might even tap the rom-comers, honestly. It is so good, and they're making an adaptation of that. And Little Mister is going to be the main character, and I'm so excited.
No. Okay.
So
Okay.
good. So good.
Adding.
Mhm.
Wait, can we talk about one more carb load thing? Because I feel like y'all are the perfect people to talk to
Oh,
this
okay.
about.
Yeah.
I am going through a slump in my reading
Mm.
because I finished Throne of Glass series.
Wow. Okay.
And
That's it.
I can't. I've been trying to read. I don't know what the book is called. I don't even know what the book is called. But I can't even. I'm bored.
Did you like the Throne of Glass?
I loved it.
I look, people have their thoughts on Sarah J. Maas that I think are very valid. She's an imperfect person, but that series I think is so amazing. It's so good. Yeah.
So good. And like the character. When I read Tower of Dawn, at first I was like, "Who are these people? I don't like it. I want to go back." And then I didn't want Tower of Dawn to end. And then I went to Kingdom of Ash, and it's
It's
just
an ensemble cast
it's
in a
so
book
good.
world, which
Yes.
is really nice. Magda hasn't finished it yet. My niece
Oh,
has a tattoo
I haven't yet.
of it on her body.
I need to see
It
that.
says, "You do not yield."
Oh yes. Oh, it's so good.
It's like the thing I think is so amazing about that book is like it is, you know, there's like a lot of male main characters who are like, I endure pain for my significant other and I'm so strong. In this book, it's the female main character who does
Yeah.
that. And the male main character is just sort of floundering around without her. And
Yeah.
she's like, there's a lot of women saving men in that book. It's great.
It's
love that.
amazing.
Yeah.
Wait, which one are you on?
I finished the second one, but it hasn't fully like grabbed me yet.
It might
Yeah.
take a little bit of time.
It's
Yeah.
a payoff though. Everything's
Yeah,
a payoff.
so-
that's what I keep hearing. That it's like it's an investment, but it's well worth
You
it.
can always text me or
Yeah.
voice note me anything.
Okay.
I'm ready to talk about it.
All right.
We'll continue this. I'm reading Red Rising right now by Pierce Brown. Have you guys heard about this?
Mm-mm.
It's a book talk book, and he's like handsome, so he's very popular on
Bad
book talk.
Bad boy of writing
The
world.
bad boy. He's
Oh.
fat. He's got long hair. He's always like doing it.
Green eyes.
I'm going to show it to you after this. I'm hating it so much,
Oh.
and I like keep telling Magda, I'm like, is it because he's like handsome boy that I'm like, fuck you, your book sucks, or is it like actually not good? I don't know. I think the writing is bad. Anyway, don't pick it up.
I know
Okay,
people that
saying
liked
so.
it and people that didn't
And now
like
I
it.
want to read it
Yeah.
just so that I can see if I like it or
I should not have laid eyes on him because it made me. There's something about people who like know they're attractive and they're like, I'm
It's
hot, but
annoying. Yeah,
I'm
really
pretending I
annoying.
don't know.
just like giving the ick.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you know, like, there's not a lot of like male authors that are handsome and like he's like a
Normie.
normal. person.
He's a
normal.
humanity 6, but he's
Yeah.
a writing 10.
10. Exact. That great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Yeah.
It makes me so mad. Like the hot main character, which he mentions is hot about 50 times. It's like, we get it. Attractiveness is extremely important to you. Everyone's introduction is like, this is this person. They are not hot. This is this person. They are hot. That is literally their descriptions in the book. It like will say like, they're extremely attractive. They are ugly. That is their descriptions. Not like what their personality traits are, or like things about them. It's like hot, not hot. And the hot main character wears a red fucking sweatband, and I'm supposed to get on board with this. It's no.
I can get out the name of the book, but I'm going to keep everything else.
It makes me so mad. I mean, anyone who read the book is going to be like, it's that. Yeah,
Okay, we'll
it's
cut it all.
so mad about it. No,
leave it in.
I love
yeah,
that.
anyway,
Leave it
I'm shutting
in.
up
No,
about it,
I
but-
just finished reading Rose in Chains by Julie Soto, which is based on a fan fiction, a Dramione fan fiction. The fan fiction is called The Auction. And again, Dramione. So the male main character, blonde. And all I keep thinking about it is Nicholas Holt. You guys know who Nicholas Holt is with his bleach blonde hair?
About a boy. See, this is weird because he's a
Or,
child in that movie. Skins.
or The Great with Elle Fanning.
Nope. Okay, we're out.
So
We're
look,
not
he was just in the Batman movie. He was Lex Luthor in the latest Superman movie.
here. I'm
Sorry.
still recovering from Guillermo Benicio. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I think him with blonde hair,
He looks
he
amazing.
looks so good. And that's all I kept
He is
picturing
amazing.
as I was reading that book.
Okay, you know what's really funny? Him with blonde hair looks like Chris Brown with blonde hair.
Oh, God.
yeah. I do know what you're saying.
He does.
No. Oh my
What do
gosh,
they
you
call
better
that?
ruin
They
Nicholas
call-
Holt for me.
Online, they call it a forbidden pair. Have you heard of those?
No.
It's like two people that you're not supposed to say, like, that you're like, are not supposed to look alike, but they do look alike, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
and that's them.
yeah.
Oh,
That's so funny.
no, Chris Brown is annoying in my head because, you know, he beat up Rihanna. Like, and I don't
I wish
support
I-
those
yeah, yeah, yeah.
decisions. He was terrible. So, no, Nicholas Holt, don't do that.
Oh my God.
Okay. Anything that you were hoping that we would touch on the podcast that we did not touch on? Anything that y'all wanted to
No.
talk about?
I mean, I want to talk about Real Housewives, but Magda won't let me talk
we
about.
didn't.
No, we
What?
can't because Magda really hates it when I make her talk about Real
Well, I
Housewives.
didn't
hate it.
look at
I
that.
feel like
I
it's
don't
not-
watch.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
Brings 50% of the podcast, and we knew going in that Real Housewives was going to be a topic.
I'm like,
Listen,
okay, quick notes on BravoCon. Whatever you want to tell me, go.
Okay, Shep is a demon. I get him off my television. I don't want to hear one single word about him. He was, I don't know if you saw this on a video. He was complaining about how Paige DeSorbo, who is a young woman who is making it in the world, who is seeing success, and the shit men of Bravo hate her for it.
Yes.
I'm sick of it. And I love the Real Housewives because I feel like where on television do you get to watch women beyond menopause, be crazy, be wild, have sex, be silly, and people love it.
Amen.
that is
I
so
love the
great.
hot takes.
That's
I'm
it.
here for it.
I love that. I don't know. That was a great, like, you had never told me this, and this is like,
Mm.
maybe I should start watching
You
it
know,
again.
It's women building empires.
Yes.
1,000. It gives women access. Like so many women get on the show and they get divorced, and I feel like it's because they marry these rich men. They don't see a way out of it, and then Bravo gives them
Their creative outlet for us.
that's the breadcrumb. Their creative outlet to do something on their own. Here we go. We bring
Midlife
it back around.
crisis.
Yeah.
Okay, you gave me goosebumps. That's awesome.
Well, Matt just said it. So there you go.
So maybe both of y'all need to just start watching Real Housewives from the beginning. 20 years worth, okay?
I mean, I
Let's
did,
go.
I did
Every
watch
episode
it.
I've seen.
I did
when it
too.
first came on.
I did New Jersey. I did New York. I did all of it like early on.
Same.
Okay.
And I think New Jersey just kind of was just like, this is like peak TV.
It
Like,
was.
that's
Wow,
it.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my God, that was like
I
a
told
classic
Magda,
moment.
New Jersey reminds me too much of my family, so I can't watch it because I'm like,
Trauma.
yeah, too close to home.
Well, guys, thank y'all again for this. This was amazing. Plug your TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
So the name of our podcast is Literally Books the Podcast. You can find us wherever, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, everywhere.
That's it.
At _literally books, or you can just go to our website, literallybooks.com, and that's going to tell you all of our episodes, guests, social media, all that kind of fun stuff.
Guys, go check it out and go watch Lindsay watch Bridgerton because that's what I'm going to go do today. She's going to kill me for
A
that.
new season is coming up, so I don't know. I have hope that I might make her do it again.
Yes.
Watching people watch things is a thing. I had no idea.
It's a thing. And it's still one of our most popular videos right now.
I like to watch
Funny.
people.
Well, y'all are amazing. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, this was so fun, you guys. I feel honored to be your first guest.
All right, guys. So I want you to go into your week and
Go
Find your breadcrumbs.
We may cuss, we may offend.
maybe don't listen to this with your kids in the car. We're here to learn and laugh, not to offend.
We are not experts, so take what resonates and professional advice where needed. Thanks for hanging out with us today.
If you've loved today's conversation, subscribe so you don't miss future episodes. Continue picking up the breadcrumbs by leaving us a review and sharing.
Follow us on socials. We are at Instagram at The Breadcrumb Effect, TikTok at The Breadcrumb Effect Pod, and YouTube at The Breadcrumb Effect.
Let us know your favorite episode or what you'd like to see.
Want to be a guest or know someone with a story? Fill out our guest interest form linked in our bios.
Finally, let us know if you found the hidden loaf. Until next time, keep picking up those breadcrumbs.
They're leading you exactly where you're meant to be. We are
Are we
so
recording?
excited.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've been recording.
Oh,
I also
okay.
don't tell Brittany when I start recording.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
That's when you get the best content.
Yeah.
Got
Believe
it.
it.
The most natural. We just don't even tell people because we don't like to set people up.
I get it.
Yeah, I like it.
Basically, black tanks are my uniform.
Yeah, you showed up as your authentic self, and
Yeah.
so did I, obviously. This is
I'm just a princess.
Yeah. I honestly, when
princess.
you were with
Yes.
Tiara last recording, I was like, that does like weirdly suit you. Like, I've never seen a person
I
wear a
was-
tiara so naturally at 9 a.m. on a Saturday.
I was meant to be a princess.
Yes,
and
it's
things just didn't
ridiculous.
work out, guys. That's what happened.
That's going to be your new name.
Princess Magda.
Yeah.
Listen, I love it. I think he has a nice ring to it.
I think so too.
She's like, it
honestly.
feels right for
yeah,
some
this feels
reason.
right. It's
Yeah.
fine.
I'm down.
Yeah, here you go.
Meanwhile, I'm like,
come in.
I'm like your butler. Like, I'm like the housemaid that's like, I gotta go feed the pigs. I'll see you later.
No, you're the one that is rolled in with it carrying this.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like
Floxy all there.
it feels so right.
I get prints out. And I did. She biffed down. Getting in the bed.
Yeah.
Great.
She let me right up front and everything. It was great.
I fed her, and it's fine.
This is great.
Oh God. It feels so good.
Okay, awesome. So let's meet Lindsay. So Lindsay is a half human, half vortex. I'm not reading this right.
Oh, it's okay. Half human, half vortex of breast is one.
There we go.
Yep. I do
I'm like, I don't
want
want to make you read your own bio. When we did our About Us, we did it for each other because we're like, we're not going to read our own
It's
bio.
weird to hear your own
weird.
bio though as
It-
well.
yeah,
'Cause you're like, I
it's
did
all
write
awkward.
that, so yeah,
It's awkward.
yeah,
It
it's
is.
awkward. It's awkward.
But I also don't want to stare you in the eyes while I'm doing it. Like,
Oh, I mean, yeah,
In the
that's what I'm saying.
picture.
Here, I'll look blankly into space so that it's more comfortable.
you're staring at them. dead
Yeah.
in the eye.
Hello. Yeah,
Like a zoom in.
yeah,
And they post it.
exactly.
Post production.
Exactly. Okay, restless energy living in Austin with a husband and 2 pups, as we know. My love of exploring different worlds began. Your love. I'm doing this really well. I'm going to start over.
Can we stop?
Reset.
But you're leaving the
why we
thing.
edit.
Yes,
I actually haven't read this yet, so it's my first go.
it's a-okay.
Okay,
Lord, I need some glasses.
good luck. One take.
I
for
loved
you.
this.
Love this. She's like,
Okay.
oh.
Yeah, let me see. All right. So, what do you want me to say?
Good luck. Nope. Start over. Kidding.
No, no.
I will. I will make it
Okay,
perfect.
sorry, go.
Okay. All right, guys. What? How? And this is what.
See, it wasn't that easy, was it? This is why y'all are
Maybe like a.
Sorry, I have to cough.
We do that all the time.
not
Meanwhile,
gonna
I'm
edit
like,
that out though. No.
everyone loves to hear that. Just like, phlegmy cough, right? Like, yeah.
We have done all kinds of things.
Magda had COVID
Yeah.
when we first,
Oh, God.
or like had just gotten done with COVID when we first started filming. So like every 5 seconds she'd be like, and excuse me, and then cough. It was awful. I felt so bad.
There was a whole episode that you can just see the humidifier going in the background. You think it's for vibes, but no, I literally
Yeah.
need that to be able to
True.
speak.
Vibes.
Yeah, just like,
Yeah. It's
You know,
very
we-
woo-woo.
you live in Austin.
Yeah.
Don't worry that it's April. It's fine. Literally just did like breadcrumbs.
Here we go. It's like when you're like,
They'll be like, Oh, bread.
Balance.
Oh god, that was a great way
Okay,
to end.
Right, cut.